давай, обгоняй его. Да, потихоньку. Потихоньку.
That is a damaged Ukrainian Roshil Senator armored vehicle, evacuating troops after being hit by a Russian FPV. The dramatic scenes are from June 2025. The Ukrainians were holding the line, but after 18 months of a bloody fight of attrition, the Russians claim to have finally prevailed. Ukrainian troops have supposedly retreated. A city, strategically and economically crucial, has been decimated. Pokrovsk has fallen. Or, as the Russians are saying, Krasnoarmeysk has been liberated. Moscow released visuals of two soldiers holding up the Russian flag right at the city center. The Russian Defense Ministry claims a big win, but if Ukrainian data is to be believed, it came at a heavy cost. Pokrovsk is not just another figure on an Excel sheet. Its significance goes beyond just the numbers.
Pokrovsk sits along the eastern front line in what has been called the fortress belt of Donetsk. The line of heavily fortified cities is crucial to Ukraine's defence of the region.
When it was founded as a railway station settlement in 1875, Pokrovsk was called Grishino. By the early 1900s, the settlement had already grown into a major transit hub, surviving the Russian Civil War and continuing its march towards economic growth. However, in the Second World War, Axis powers, led by Italy and then Germany, invaded the then Soviet Union. In October of 1941, German forces had managed to occupy the town and forcefully transferred a massive portion of the population to labor camps in Austria. Even then, the battle for Pokrovsk was a bloody one. Official sources say 8,295 Soviet soldiers were killed in action and over 4,700 civilians perished in the course of the war. By the midwinter of 1942, the Jewish community of Pokrovsk had been decimated by the occupying force. The Nazis also ran one of their dreaded prison labor camps called Stalag 378. The bloodshed did not end there though. In 1943, the Red Army took the city back, but not before the massacre of Grishno, in which angry Soviet troops allegedly slaughtered over 500 Axis prisoners of war and 88 civilians allegedly aligned with them. However, as the war ended, Pokrovsk got back on track, quite literally. Post the fall of Crimea, the city became the front line in the separatist war for Donbas. After a series of name changes, it was only in 2016 that the city was finally named Pokrovsk, under the Ukrainian government's decommunization laws. These laws were a series of steps taken to regain dignity, erase Soviet horrors, and the large-scale rejection of Russian symbols by Ukraine. Before the Russian military began sweeping into Ukraine, Pokrovsk was a key industrial city. Beyond being a major railway hub, the city's mines produced over 6 million tons of coking coal, making it an essential cog in Ukraine's steel industry. However, as the invasion began, the city's civilians left in droves, but the battle lines in Advika held and Pokrovsk became a crucial logistics center, serving as a distribution hub for the Ukrainian military. By the summer of 2022, Pokrovsk's citizenry returned and a semblance of normalcy was seen. However, midway August of 2023, the situation worsened drastically. Russian military mines began targeting Ukraine military posts, drone centers and supply lines in and around Pokrovsk. Since then, the missiles, drones, tanks and bullets fired have rendered Pokrovsk into a bloody, desolate ghost town.
The footage, released by Russia's defense ministry, came after Russia's chief of general staff, Valery Gerasimov, claimed during a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday that their troops had taken full control of the strategically key city in the Donetsk region. The footage shows troops in a city square, as well as aerial footage of damaged city buildings. The video could not be independently verified by the Associated Press, and Ukraine did not immediately comment. But during a visit to France, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said fighting was still ongoing in Pokrovsk on Monday, and also disputed Russia's earlier claim that it had captured the city of Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region.
Складні бої в самому ж Покровську і на інших напрямках, наприклад, більше успіху у наших хлопців на Куп'янському напрямку, хоча Росія каже, що вона захопила Куп'янськ, а ми, якщо чесно, майже всіх вичистили.
In January of 2025, the coal mines shut shop. Ukraine's President Zelensky claims 25,000 Russian troops died trying to take the city just in October of the same year. The iron-willed Ukrainian resistance and the unyielding Russian invasion now signals a bloodier, far worse battle for Donbas and in the region.